When you get, once you grab your diploma, switch it over.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, go around.
Yeah, look, he's pointing in his ear.
Okay.
You can take your mouse too. Okay. We'll wait then.
We will wait. Yeah, we'll wait.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
So she's going to sit from
You can bring, yeah.
here.
You can bring her in.
Can we do that?
Yeah, a little bit more. There you go.
We're good?
Yeah.
I remember his first day.
Yeah?
He was a frightened little child. No, he had lots of friends.
You know what though?
He came with his own crew.
Feel free, because I think we're waiting for somebody, right?
Sorry?
I think we're waiting for somebody.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, you can just have a seat where your mask is. Once whoever's here to see it is here, then we can get started. I'll just talk really fast like an auctioneer. So if there's an archive for the live stream, just replay it and play it slow.
So the mic after your speech, I'll bring it back.
I'll see you in a minute.
So just so you know, it's still.
Turn it. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be.
Otherwise, it's like a dead sound.
Yeah.
They went to the front for some reason. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
And that's
No
where,
worries.
that's where you see all the directions or the decorations up front there, right?
Yeah.
And you'll go there after for pictures.
What's your shift? What time do you start work?
I just took it off today.
No, I know, but usually on a regular day.
I get there early,
Yeah.
so 7 to 3.
Yeah.
And then on install days, usually wants me there around 7:30.
Yeah.
And then we do till like 5.
Okay.
Just because all the drive.
Yeah, you gotta drive. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's good experience and it's.
And are you living in St. Malo, St. Pierre still?
St. Malo, yeah.
Yeah. So how long does it take you to get there?
I leave around like 6:25. And
Okay.
then, I get there just.
Good
right
time.
on 7, yeah.
Yeah. You have to do 23?
Yeah, and then I go up. What highway is that called? Near the electrical post there, like that stand.
75, I don't know.
Well, I don't come in this way.
Orders.
I don't come in this way. I take a different way.
I see. Gotcha.
It's all like construction too.
Yeah.
Right.
I understand.
You go by Albany?
Yeah, Albany. Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
the 205.
205.
Gotcha.
Well, this is what he says in the actual package. We have our case. So, and Darrius will do what we can. Take picture, and then they'll get 25 pictures of the rest. Well, I can have 25 pictures right now too. No, we can't take
There you go.
pictures of you right now.
Actually,
Well,
yeah,
I
why
did
not?
that. We did some. You did that one? Yes. And I did that one too where he picked out the one. I've only done these pictures. So, but. Because these are all pictures of just you, so we could do those. Go, oh, it looks like your mom's here. It looks like we got a sister coming. So if we put your mom.
You
You can bring both chairs.
You
You can bring both chairs in there.
Okay. We got a little sister. Yeah, bring one more chair. Oh. Okay.
Hi,
Hi, Alexa.
Good. Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Is this your fault? Are you late because of? Is it your fault?
Actually taking pictures right there. I didn't get the memo.
Oh, I see. That's okay.
Yeah.
Feel free to have a seat.
They were good right here.
Come on in, yeah.
Hi.
All right, right on.
And we're here. Okay. Put down my bag. You can sit.
All right.
All right. Good afternoon, Eric.
And
Good afternoon, family. Thanks for coming. It's my pleasure to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to grade 9, Eric, the first year of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted all of this. A lot has happened and changed over 4 years, especially the last 16 months. It would take me about 4 minutes, and that's all I'm allotted here, in this 10-minute time slot to detail all those changes, so I'll save you those. But the stories of your senior year that you've heard from your siblings, your friends and relatives doesn't match the year you've had. Also, if the class of 2020 thought they were special because they finished the year in a pandemic, your graduating class said, "Hold my root beer." But you want to know one thing that hasn't changed. What hasn't changed is your right to attend a high school graduation convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop in an enchanted forest, shout out to the decorating committee, instead of the multiplex. You're only allowed to bring members of your family rather than the thrones of fans that you had on your Instagram account that would probably come to grad for you at the multiplex. And being live streamed, so thanks to Mr. Lopez. You'll be out of here in less time than it takes to replay the highlights of the Montreal Canadiens goals scored in the playoff run that they're having. So a typical convocation takes 1.5 to 2 hours, so I bet you may not be too happy about that, but your family might not be too upset. By the way, Mr. Cox and probably Mr. Lopez are pretty sad that the playoffs won't be over before school ends because they wanted to run around and celebrate the Montreal Canadiens winning the cup. Sorry, back to my point. The reason you're here does not change and has not changed. You've worked to earn your rightful place at the Morris School Convocation. You've breezed through some classes, the ones you really like. You've worked really hard at others. You've laughed out loud with or at one of your teachers or classmates. You've probably been frustrated by something or someone school-related. It's all part of the process and then part of the memories that you'll have, both good and bad. However, you've earned the right to be here. Let's just say you haven't had the senior year you've dreamt of. What did the dream involve? Well, maybe joining a sports team or two, maybe actually being allowed to leave the school grounds on a spare to make a Tim's run, maybe go on a field trip where you actually get to enter a building rather than see it through a screen. Your idea of a typical run-of-the-mill senior year when you were in grade 9 quickly turned into a hope and a dream at the end of last year. That dream didn't come true in a number of ways, and for that I feel for you. But let's not wallow in our misery. Let's turn it to a positive. There's a few positives here. I'm going to list you 3. There's way more than that. Positive number 1, you've made history. You'll join a number of class of 2021 members around the world who can say that they spent their entire school year, not just 3 months, like last year, living through a pandemic. Think about the stories you'll be able to tell your grandchildren. Very few classes have experienced what you have. In fact, if I think back, well, who am I kidding? I Googled this. Your year really only compares to the high school graduates of 1953 and 54, who were the high school graduates during the polio pandemic. You're a special group of people, but not just because of your place in history. Positive number 2, most of your school year was spent together with your classmates. You only saw each other every other day, but it's better to see each other every other day than not at all. It was a great feeling. I know I speak personally for a second. Your presence in our school saved me more than once as I struggled with changing health protocols and rule changes and canceled events, etc. I considered every day with you guys a blessing for me. Why? Because I got to see you. Seeing you is the reason I do what I do. As I end my 3rd year at Morris School, I got to see you go from a group of grade 10s to a school of leaders. And thank you for that. It's my pleasure and privilege to be part of that experience. I hope your ability to come to school this year was a positive for you as well. Albeit standing 2 meters away and wearing a mask and doing mainly academics, but for you, luckily, some welding, but positive nonetheless. And final positive, at least for today, you accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete this process. It's put a stamp on your 13 years of education. For some, it will be the last experience in a school for the rest of your lives. For others, and for you, it's just one more phase of your education that's been completed, and you can move on and do other things, the stuff that you really, really want to do. Where you go on tomorrow, or today, or where you go tomorrow doesn't really matter, because today you accomplished this, and you should cherish today. I would recommend extending this event beyond this 10 minutes. Celebrate it with your family and friends of yours, and at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, 10 other people can be in your backyard. Or 24 other people can go to a park. However you want to celebrate it, within those parameters, take the time to do so because you've earned it, Eric. As you figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life, and that may change too, I wish you all the best. You're always welcome here. I hope part of the life you choose for yourself includes serving others in some way, because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best feelings in the world. So congratulations, Eric, for being a part of the class of 2021. Way to go. So Eric, Richard, Piette. Congratulations, Eric, on your graduations from Morris School. You'll be remembered as a friendly, super energetic young man. Despite challenges once in a while that you've faced, you always strove for your best. The effort you put in this year was impressive. You never gave up, and you were determined to finish well. We wish you the very best next year as you return to the RRTVA welding program. Eric is receiving a Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Eric. Yeah, you can move it over to the other side now. You take your tassel and move it over to the other side. There you go. That means you're graduated. Yes, you can go to the front and take as many as you want, and you can shake my hand up there. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah, that was my favorite part. Eric, did I do you say you'll get your smile? No, no, not yet.
No.
Oh, I thought you said third year and
No.
school year.
Yeah. All right, brother, you're good to go. Thanks a lot. Good job, buddy. Thanks a lot. Way to go. Good job. Good afternoon. Welcome, family. Alexis family, it's an honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to your grade 9 year, the first year of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened and changed for you over the last 4 years, specifically and especially this last 16 months. It'll take me the entire 4 minutes I have to sort of highlight and detail all those changes, so we'll just move on. But the stories that you've heard of senior years, you've heard from siblings and friends and relatives, doesn't match up to the year you've had. Also, if the class of 2020 think they're special because they finished their year during the last 3 months, their last 3 months of the pandemic, well, your graduating class said, hold my root beer. But one thing that hasn't changed is your right to be here today. Now, it might be in the auto body shop turned enchanted forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for that. Instead of the multiplex, you're only allowed to bring a few members of your family, and that's it, instead of all your fans that would have shown up to the multiplex for that. Instead, they're watching on live stream, thanks to Mr. Lopez. And you'll be here in less time than it'll take us to run through all the goals that Mr. Cox's Montreal Canadiens have scored so far in the NHL playoffs. Whereas a typical convocation takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I think some of you are probably pretty happy. Maybe Roman might be one of those people that's pretty happy about this. By the way, Mr. Cox is pretty sad that the school year ends before the hockey playoffs this year because he was ready to run through the hallways screaming and yelling about his victory. Potential victory. Sorry, back to my point. The reason you're here did not change. You've worked to earn your rightful place at the Moore School Convocation. You've breezed through some courses, probably some of them that you liked. You worked really hard at others. You've laughed out loud at or with one of your teachers or classmates, and you've been frustrated and angry and upset by something school-related, I'm thinking, over the last little bit. It's all part of the process and the memories that you have, both good and bad. However, you've earned the right to be here. Let's just say you haven't had the senior year you dreamt of. What did the dream involve? Maybe being part of a couple sports teams, maybe actually leaving the school and going on a Tim's run during spare or lunch, or maybe going on a field trip where you could actually enter in a building that wasn't this place rather than see it through a screen. So your typical run-of-the-mill average year quickly turned into a dream for you at the end of last year, hoping that you could just have something normal. Well, that didn't happen, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But let's not dwell on the negative, because that's not why we're here. We're here to celebrate. So I've got a few positives for you. I put a positive spin on this. Number one, you guys made history. You'll join all the members of the class of 2021, including my daughter who graduated this morning, around the world, who can say that you spent the entire year living through a pandemic. Think of the stories you'll be able to tell your kids and your grandkids. You'll be one of those old people, back in my day. Yeah. Very few classes have experienced what you have. In fact, if I were to think back, no, that's not true. I just Googled it. Your year only really compares to the class of 1953-54 who had to suffer through the polio epidemic. You're a special group of people for the history you've made, but for way more than that. Positive number two. Most of your school year was spent every other day, but still spent together, like the end of last year wasn't. You saw each other. It was a great feeling, I'm hoping. Because for me personally, if I get personal for a minute, your presence in the school saved me more than once. We struggled with health protocols and rule changes and canceled events, but I considered every day at school a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you guys. Seeing you is the reason what I do, and as I end my third year here at Moore School, I got to see you going from a group of grade 10s to the leaders of the school, and it's my pleasure and privilege to be part of your experience. I hope your ability to come to school this year was as positive as it was for me. Now, we were 2 meters away, we were get your mask on, mainly doing academia and not a lot else, but positive nonetheless. Finally, the third positive, you accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete this process. Put a stamp on your 13-year education, for it will be the last experience for some of us for the rest of our lives in a school. But for others, and I believe this counts for you too, is just one phase completed and we head to the next phase. But let's not worry about tomorrow, because today it's a time to celebrate. what you've accomplished, and we want to cherish this moment for a little bit. I would recommend extending this event beyond these 10 minutes. Celebrate it with your family and your friends, and at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, 10 people in your own backyard or 24 people at a park, you can really whoop it up. You can celebrate it, but I hope you do, and I hope you take the time to do so because you've earned it. So, as you head out and figure out what the rest of your life is, I know you have a plan now, but if it changes, that's fine. I wish you the best. You're always welcome here. I hope this part of your life is a good memory, and that you choose in the future to somehow serve others, because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best things you can do in your life. So congratulations, Lexi, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. So this may take, because this is big, this may take longer than my speech. Alexandria Dingle. Lexi's graduating with honors, although you've gone through some struggles and learned to never give up, be it on the soccer field, the volleyball court, or the basketball court, or in your academic studies. You'll be remembered for your good nature, steely determination, and work ethic. Even in the toughest of times, you were always driven to finish. We are proud of your efforts and proud of you. Lexi has been a student leader throughout high school and has been a member of TAD, Kids Caring for Kids, student leadership. Lexi plans to pursue a career in social work, education, or maybe even law. Lexi has earned the University of Manitoba Girton Entrance Scholarship valued at $2,000. She's also earned the Portage-Lisgar Conservative Electoral District Candace Bergen Leadership Award of $300, and of course, your Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Lexi. Don't take a frame. Just the one that's... No, yeah, very good. Nice work. Yeah, there you go. Nice work. And there's lots of chance when you finish here, you'll go around the corner, and lots of chances to take photos with family and everything else. So, yeah, there you go. Nice. Awesome. Good job. You're out of here, kid.
Way to go, Alexis.
Oh. To the auto body shop, I hope.
Congratulations.
Just watch the heels in those holes there. Yeah. afternoon, Seth. Welcome to Seth's family. I have the honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to when you first got here, the first year of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you could have probably not predicted this. Lots happened in the last 4 years, especially in the last 16 months. It would take more than 4 minutes that I'm allotted to detail all those changes and all the things that have happened, so I'll save you the details. But the stories of your senior year you've heard from maybe friends and relatives doesn't match up to the year you've had. Also, if the class of 2020, last year's class, think that they were something special because they lived through 3 months of this, your graduating class said, hold my root beer. But one thing that hasn't changed, what hasn't changed is your right to be here at your own high school convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned Enchanted Forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for what they've done here instead of the Morris multiplex. You're only allowed to bring members of your household rather than the millions of fans you have that would have packed the multiplex. Now they've got to watch it on Mr. Lopez's live stream. Thanks, Mr. Lopez. And you'll be out of here in less time than it'll take to replay all of Montreal Canadiens' goals during the NHL playoff run that they're on. Whereas usually convocation takes an hour and a half to 2 hours. So for some people, this is a deal for you guys. By the way, Mr. Cox and Mr. Lopez, by the looks of his polo shirt, are pretty upset that the playoffs won't be over before the end of the school year because they were looking to rub it into people's faces as we went through. Sorry, got off track. Back to my point. The reason you're here has never changed. You've worked to earn your rightful place at the Morris School Convocation. You've breezed through some classes, probably the ones you've liked. You've worked really hard on others. You laughed out loud at one of your teachers, or with one of your teachers or classmates. You've been frustrated by something school-related or someone school-related. It's all part of the process and part of the memories, both good and bad. However, you've earned the right to be here today, so congratulations. Let's just say that your senior year was not the year you dreamt of. What did the dream involve? Well, maybe be part of a sport team or two or a club or two, maybe actually being able to leave campus and go on a Tim's run without, feeling like you're breaking out of jail, and maybe go on a field trip where you could actually go into another location that wasn't this place instead of looking at it on a screen. So your typical run-of-the-mill normal high school senior year became a dream for you at the end of last year, just hoping you could have a real normal year. But that didn't happen, and for that I feel for you and your class. But let's not dwell on the negative, let's move to the positive. I got 3. There's more than that, but I've got 3. Number 1, you guys made history. You'll join the class of 2020 and throughout the world who can say they lived through their last school year in a pandemic. Think about the stories you'll be able to tell your grandchildren. Very few classes have experienced what you have. In fact, I did some research. In other words, I Googled it. And really, it's 1953, 1954, the polio epidemic, where the class suffered as much as you guys did. And I don't think there's anything else yeah, we've had some floods, we've had some different things, but nothing like this. So you've made a place in history. Number 2, most of the school year was spent with your classmates. Every other day, but at least spent with your classmates. You saw each other, and if I could speak personally for a minute, your presence, the students here, saved me more than once as we navigated through and struggled with health protocol changes, rule changes, canceled events. Why? Because I got to see you people, and that's why I do what I do. As I end my 3rd year at Morris School, I get to see you guys from a group of grade 10s to a group of leaders in the school. It's my pleasure and privilege to be part of that experience, and I thank you for that. I hope your ability to come to school this year was a positive for you as well, albeit 2 meters away, put on your mask, and doing mainly schoolwork, but nonetheless, hopefully positive. You accomplished a goal. The reasons you're here today is to complete that process. Put a stamp on the 13-year education that you had. And for some of us, it'll be the last experience in school for the rest of our lives. For others, this is just one phase completed. So you can head to the next phase of education, or you can head into work. But wherever you go tomorrow doesn't matter to me. What I recommend is that you cherish this moment. I would recommend extending these 10 minutes that you're going to get in the shop here and celebrate it with your family members, and at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, Friday evening, however you want to put it, 10 people in your backyard, or 24 others in a park, however you can celebrate it, take it and enjoy it. And as you head to figure out what the rest of your life looks like, Seth, I wish you all the best. You're always welcome here, and I hope in some part of your life you choose to serve others, because I can tell you from personal experience it's one of the best feelings in the world. So congratulations, Seth, on being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. All right, Seth David Gilbert Korosil. Congratulations, Seth, on your graduation from Morris School. This year has not been easy, but you continue to work at school and work in the community at Co-op. You'll be remembered as a good-natured student who is kind and respectful. We wish you the best as you take this year to explore your interests and prepare for a career in law enforcement. Seth is receiving a Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Seth. And then when you guys finish here, once he finishes this, you can head out, go around the corner. There's a photo booth sort of thing set up so you can take as many photos as you want. Okay, thank you very much. Good job, Seth. Thanks, buddy. Thank you, guys. Hi, Noah. I'm here to talk to you for a bit. Yeah. A little bit more than a mannequin, more just a talking head. Congratulations, Mom. Welcome. It's my honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to your grade 9 year, the first year of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted all of this. A lot has happened over your 4 years, especially the last 16 months. It would take a lot of time for me to detail all those changes, so we'll just move on. But the stories of your senior year, you've heard from friends and relatives, et cetera, and family members about how their last year at high school wasn't anything like what you experienced. And if the class of 2020, last year's class, thinks 3 months at the end of the year not going to school was a big deal, your class said, come over here and hold my root beer. So, but one thing hasn't changed, Noah, and that is your right to be here. You've earned, now, skin of the teeth, and you worked hard at it, but you earned your right to be here. It might be in an auto body shop that turned to an enchanted forest thanks to the decorating committee, rather than the multiplex. You're only allowed to bring members of your household instead of, your thousands of fans that would have packed the barn. Instead, they're watching the live stream, thanks to Mr. Lopez. And you'll be out of here in less time than it'll take to play back all the goals that the Canadians have scored over the playoffs. Whereas typical grad takes an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I think you're getting the deal, Mom. By the way, Mr. Cox, Mr. Lopez are real sad that they can't run around the hallways after the Canadians win because nobody will be here. Yeah, they'll definitely do that. Sorry, I got distracted. The reason you're here did not change. You've worked to earn that place here at the convocation. You've breezed through some classes, probably the ones you've liked, and you've worked really hard on others. You laughed out loud, either at or with a teacher or a classmate, and you've been frustrated by something or someone here at the school, I'm thinking. It's all part of the process and the memories that you'll make, both good and bad, but you've earned your right to be here. Let's just say that your senior year isn't what you dreamt of. What did the dream involve? Well, maybe joining a sports team or two and finishing the last year of your hockey. Maybe you actually got to leave school and go for a Tim's run rather than be caught here like a jail. And maybe you went on maybe you'd want to go on a field trip and actually go into another building other than this place. But your typical sort of normal run-of-the-mill high school year, at the end of last year, I'm thinking you were just hoping for that. But it didn't turn out, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But let's put a positive spin onto this. Positive number one, you guys made history. Other than the polio epidemic in 1953-54, your class is unique. You lived through a pandemic. The stories you'll be able to tell your grandchildren. Very few classes have experienced that, but you have a special place in history. Positive number two, most of the school year was spent together with your classmates. Every other day, but still together. It could have been worse. I'm hoping for you it was a great feeling, because if I can speak personally for a minute, your presence at the school saved me. Because as we struggled with health protocols and rule changes and canceled events and canceled sports seasons, I considered every day being around you guys a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you. And to me, that's why I do this. As I end my third year at Moore School, I remember back to you guys as grade 10s and now turning into leaders of our school. So thank you for that, and it's been my pleasure and privilege to be part of that experience. I hope your ability to come to school was positive for you as well, albeit sitting 2 meters away, wearing a mask, and doing mainly schoolwork, but hopefully positive nonetheless. And then number three, you've accomplished a goal. I don't know if you wrote it anywhere down or you thought about it or you did anything with regards to goal setting, but the reason you're here today is to complete a process, to put a stamp on a 13-year education process. For some, I'm not sure about you, but we'll read about that in a second, it's coming. It'll be the last time they enter a school. For others, it's just one phase completed so they can hand on to the next one. I don't want you to think about tomorrow, though. I want you to celebrate today because of what you accomplished. I want you to cherish this moment. I would recommend you extending your celebration beyond this event, these 10 minutes that we have together. Celebrate it with your family members, and at 12:01 on Saturday, you can have 10 other people in your backyard, so bring them on. Or 24 others at a park, yes. So follow the rules, but celebrate, you've earned it. So as you head to the rest of your life, Noah, I hope you understand that you're always welcome here. And I hope that you understand that you can visit anytime. Part of your life, I hope, though, is you decide to serve others, because serving others brings you such joy. I can speak from personal experience, and I hope that you, in part of your life, choose to do that. So congratulations, Noah, for being a part of the class of 2021. Way to go. All right, Noah, Dallas, Kelly, McKay. Congratulations, Noah, on your graduation from Moore School. This has been a challenging year, and you've persevered to the finish, right up to the finish. You will be remembered as a good-natured student who loved playing hockey for the Mavericks and spending time with his friends. We wish you the best as you take this year to work and explore interests in the field of carpentry. Noah is receiving his Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Noah. There you go. Nice. Move your tassel to the other side now, too. There you go. That's awesome. And then when you guys leave, turn right, and there's you can take some photos and do some things around the corner, okay? Yeah. Awesome. See you, Noah. Thanks, buddy. Good job. All the best, buddy. Good job. Afternoon, Jayda. Welcome, Jayda's family. It's an honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. I'm thinking if you were to flash back to your grade 9 year, the first year of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened and changed for you over the last 4 years, but especially the last 16 months. It would take the entire 4 minutes I have allotted in this 10-minute session to detail those changes, so I'll save the details. The stories of your senior year, you've heard from family and friends and relatives about what it would be like, doesn't match up. And also, if the class of 2020 thinks that they're so special that their last 3 months ended with the pandemic, you told everybody to just sit down and hold my root beer because you experienced something a lot bigger than that. But you know what hasn't changed, Jayda, is that you are right to be here today. Now, it might be in the auto body shop turned Enchanted Forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for the transformation, you being part of that, instead of the Morris multiplex. You're only allowed to bring your household members instead of the thousands of fans that would have jam-packed the Morris multiplex, who are probably watching the live stream from Mr. Lopez. Thanks, Mr. Lopez. And you'll be out of here in less time than it takes to replay all of the Montreal Canadian goals over the playoff run that Mr. Cox and Mr. Lopez are all enjoying. Whereas a typical convocation is somewhere between an hour and a half to 2 hours. So maybe the brothers are appreciating the fact that this will be 10 minutes. By the way, Mr. Cox is really sad, and I'm thinking Mr. Lopez fits in here too, because the playoffs won't be over before the last day of school, so he can't run through the hallways and jump and celebrate. So anyway, I'm losing my point of thought here. Let's see. The reason you're here did not change. You've worked to earn your rightful spot here at Convocation. You've breezed through some courses, I would say a lot of courses, but you've worked really hard on others. You've laughed out loud at either one of your teachers and or classmates, or maybe laughed with them. You've been frustrated by something or someone school-related. It's all part of the process, I think, and the memories that you've created, both good and bad. However, you've earned the right to be here. Let's just say that your senior year, your last year here, was not what you dreamt of. What did the dream involve? Well, maybe you being part of a sports team or two. Maybe actually leaving the school grounds to go on a Tim's run rather than staying on campus feeling like you're in a prison. Maybe you went on a field trip to some location that you actually got to walk into another building instead of seeing it on a screen. So your typical run-of-the-mill normal senior year wasn't what you dreamed of. That dream didn't come true, and for that I feel for you and I feel for your classmates. So let's put a positive spin on this, because that's enough negative. I've got 3. There's more than that, I think, but 3. Number 1, you made history. You'll join all the 2021 class throughout the world to be a very special group. Outside of the 1953, 1954, because I Googled it, polio epidemic, this has been the most unique year in history. So you guys are special, and you come down in history for that. Most of your school year, positive number 2, was spent together every other day, but still here at the school. If I could speak personally for a minute, your presence at the school saved me more than once as we struggled with health protocols and rule changes and explaining them to you and canceling events that should have been happening. I considered, however, every day with you guys a blessing. And why? Because I got to see you. Seeing you is the reason I do what I do. And as I end my 3rd year at Morris School, I got to see you go from a group of great grade 10s to the leaders of the school. It's my pleasure and privilege to be part of that experience, and I thank you for that, Jayda. I hope your ability to come to school this year was a positive for you as well, albeit 2 meters away, put the mask on, and mainly academia, but positive nonetheless. And then finally, number 3, positive, you accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete that process, to put a stamp on your 13-year public education career. For some, it'll be the last experience in a school for the rest of their lives. For others, and if I fast forward and look ahead, that won't be for you. All you're doing is completing the next phase, or completing this so you can go on to the next phase of your education. But where you go tomorrow doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all, because you should cherish this moment. And I would recommend you do that beyond the 10 minutes that you're getting here. Celebrate it with your family members, and at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, 10 people other than your family in your backyard, or 24 people, because you makes 25, people at a park. Celebrate it, celebrate it, celebrate it. Whatever it looks like, please do. As you head out to figure out the rest of your life, and things will change, but I know you have a plan, you're always welcome here. I hope part of your life, you also choose to serve others. Because from personal experience, it's one of the best feelings in the world. So congratulations, Jayda, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. And I love the middle name. I didn't know your middle name. I didn't look it up, but I didn't know your middle name. Jayda Violet Doell. Jayda is graduating with honors. Jayda, you'll be remembered for your kindness and especially your determination. on the basketball court and volleyball courts as one of the most consistent competitors, no matter the pain or the injury you were playing through. Your resilience and drive to never give up helped everyone around you to be stronger. Joining the student leadership team this year and sharing your ideas was also appreciated. I look around and I thank you for contributing to this today as well. You are definitely a leader by example, and we appreciate all of your contributions to our school and to your classmates' experiences. So thank you for that. Jayda is planning to pursue a career in education and study at the University of Manitoba. Jayda, hang up here for a second. You're going to put us overtime, by the way, by all the awards that you've won. Jayda, you will be receiving the following: the Applied Math 40S Award, sponsored by Rempo Insurance, with a mark of 93%. The Chemistry 40S Award, sponsored by Paul Brandt's Trucking, with a mark of 98%. The Geography Award, sponsored by the Ladies Legion Auxiliary, with a mark of 99%. The Global Issues 40S Award, sponsored by Brandt Trucking, with a mark of 98%. A Red River Valley Teachers Association $500 scholarship, a Miller Environmental $500 scholarship, the Governor General's Academic Medal. The medal was first recognized in 1873 by the Earl of Dufferin. The medal recognizes and encourages academic excellence across Canada. Averages include all grade 11 and grade 12 courses as listed on the student's official transcript of grades issued by the Ministry of Education. Your average, 94.229. I think we rounded up to 9 now, so you know what happened. Percent. Congratulations. And finally, a $3,000 Queen Elizabeth II academic entrance scholarship from the University of Manitoba. And of course, last but not least, your Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Jayda. Way to go. There you go. And Jayda probably knows this, but if you guys hop in the truck, turn right, take as many photos as you want over on the other side. Congrats, Jayda. You're welcome. Hi, Chloe. Hi, Chloe's family. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start and we're going to acknowledge that we are on and gathered on ancestral lands, Treaty 1 territory, traditional treaty of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of Métis Nation. Good afternoon, everybody. Chloe, welcome to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. You've earned it. Way to go. If we were to flash back to when you first got here, the start of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened in the last 3-4 years, especially the last 16 months. It would take the entire time I have to detail all those changes, so I'll just save you those details. The stories of your final grade 12 year that you've heard from parents and siblings and what it would be like, well, none of that, or a lot of that, didn't happen. Also, if the class of 2020 thinks they had it bad, you guys said, sit down and hold my root beer. But we don't want to worry about all that. One thing hasn't changed, and that's your right to be here at your high school graduation convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop turned into an enchanted forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for that transformation instead of the multiplex across the highway. You're only allowed to bring the members of your family rather than the thrones of fans that would have came to the multiplex to pack the house for you. But they can watch Mr. Lopez's live stream, and I hope they are. And you'll be out of here in less time than it'll take for us to play the Montreal Canadiens goals that they've scored in the playoffs. It's going to, and whereas a typical grad takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So is that your brother in the back there? Yeah? He's probably liking the fact that it's going to be just 10 minutes. Yeah. Sorry, back to my point. The reason you're here has not changed. You've worked to earn the right at the Moore School Convocation. You've breezed through some classes. I just need to think about art for you, and that's because I believe that's one of your loves and passions, and you've worked really hard on others. You've laughed out loud, either with or at a teacher or one of your classmates, and you've been frustrated by something or someone at the school. It's all part of the process and the memories that you'll make, both good or bad. However, you've earned the right to be here. Let's just say the senior year is probably not a year you've dreamt of. What does a dream involve? Well, maybe a sports team or a club or two. Maybe you actually get to leave school on a spare and go to Tim's or go downtown to grab a Slurpee at the co-op. I don't know. Maybe a chance to go on a field trip where you actually get to leave the building and walk into another one. So the typical run-of-the-mill normal year quickly turned into a dream at the end of last year. And that dream didn't become a reality, and for that I feel for you and your class. But let's put a positive spin on this. Positive number one, you guys made history. Outside of the 1953-54 polio epidemic, you guys are one of the most unique classes in history, living through an entire school year of a pandemic. Very few classes have experienced that, and you are a special group of people because of it. Now, positive number two, most of your school year was spent together. And I just want to get personal here for a second, but your presence, every time I saw you, saved me more than once. As we struggled with health protocol changes, rule changes, canceled events, I considered every day with you and your classmates a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you. Seeing you is the reason I do what I do. And at the end of my third year at Morris School, I got to see you go from a group of grade 10s to the leaders of the school. And it was my privilege and honor to be part of that experience, so I thank you for that. I hope your ability to come to school this year was a positive for you as well, although 2 meters away from people, wearing a mask, doing mainly academic work, but hopefully positive nonetheless. Number 3 positive, you accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete a process. Put a stamp on your 13 years of education. For some, it'll be the last time they step foot in a school. But for others, this is just one phase and on to the next. But I don't want to think about tomorrow right now. I want you to cherish today. I would recommend that you extend this celebration beyond these 10 minutes, and you celebrate it with your family members. And at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, 10 more people in your backyard. or 24 people in a park. But however that looks, following health protocols, you've earned it. So please do celebrate that. And as you head out to figure what the rest of your life looks like, Chloe, I wish you the best. You're always welcome here, and I hope a small part of your life, and you already do this because I know some of the things that you have done, that you work to serve others. Because from my personal experience, it's one of the best feelings in the world. So congratulations, Chloe, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. Okay, Chloe Olivia Wesley. Congratulations, Chloe, on your high school graduation. This year has been a challenging one, and yet you've persevered right to the end. You'll be remembered as a wonderfully creative person. We also thank you for your countless hours of help in our library. Your thoughtfulness is appreciated. We wish you success as you pursue a career in fine arts and education at the University of Winnipeg. That's where my daughter's going to school too. Chloe is receiving her Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Chloe. Way to go. Just pick it up and grab it. There you go. Yep. And when you guys finish here, you just take a right, and then there's photo books and stuff at the front desk. You take as many as you want. Way to go. Good job, Chloe.
Congratulations, Chloe.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Chloe. Thank you. Awesome job. You look beautiful.
Hi, Haley.
Have a great summer.
Give your map to your mom. You're tall now. All right, it's my turn now. Sorry, just a few minutes. Good afternoon, Madison. Welcome, family. I have the honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to grade 9, you came here in grade 9, right? Yeah. the first year of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened over the last 4 years, and especially the last 16 months. It would take an entire 4 minutes that I have allotted here in this 10-minute process to go over those details, so I'll save you those. But you've probably heard stories from older siblings or family members about what grad's like and everything else, and this, not really it, minus a few details. And also, if the class of 2020 think they were so special because the last 3 months they had the pandemic, you told them to sit down and hold my root beer. So, but you know what hasn't changed, Maddie, is your right to be here. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned Enchanted Forest. Did you have a hand in doing this? No, I didn't. Okay, well, shout out to the decorating committee who did. And instead of being over at the Morris Multiplex, now you're allowed to bring your family members, which is great to see them. They're a special group, but I'm thinking you've got thousands of fans that probably would have wanted to come to the multiplex to watch. So instead, they've got our viewership on the live stream has just gone up because of you. So thank you for that. And thanks to Mr. Lopez for doing what he's doing. And you'll be out of here in less time than it will take for Mr. Cox and Mr. Lopez's favorite team to replay the goals they've scored in the playoffs. Yeah, so you'll be here and take more time to do that. Now, a typical grad usually takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, so I think some of the family members here, I'm not sure, I can't really tell by their faces, are probably happy about the 10 minutes that they're going to have. Sorry, back to my point. The reason you're here has not changed. You've worked to earn your rightful place at a Morris School Convocation. You've breezed through some courses, and if I look at the flash forward a little bit, quite a few courses, worked really hard on others, maybe. You've laughed out loud at or with one of your teachers or classmates. You've been frustrated, probably, by something or someone school-related, and I think it's all part of the process and the memories that you'll create, both good and bad. However, you've earned the right to be here. Let's just say you haven't had the senior year you dreamt of. What does that dream involve? Well, maybe joining a sports team or two. And I know you had a illustrious ringette career prior to this, right? Yeah. Maybe you actually get to leave the school grounds at lunch or during spare and go on a Tim's run rather than be locked up. Maybe you would go on a field trip that would involve going into another building rather than seeing it on a screen. So the idea of the run-of-the-mill, typical high school year for your last year turned into a dream at the end of your grade 11 year. And that dream, unfortunately, didn't really come true. But I feel for you and your classmates, but let's not wallow. Let's think about the positives and put a positive spin on this. Number one, you guys made history. Outside of the 1953-1954 polio epidemic, you guys are a special class. Not since then has something like this happened. So you can tell your grandkids about this. Back in the day, I didn't go to school except for every other day. I had to wear a mask. So, very good place in history you've made. At least you can say you were part of history anyway. Positive number two, most of the school year, unlike the end of last year, was spent together. Every other day, but still together. We saw each other, and it's a great feeling. And if I could speak personally for a moment, Maddie, your presence and your class's presence at the school saved me more than once. I struggled with health protocols, rule changes, canceled events. Each one sort of got to me. However, I considered every day at school with you guys a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you. And seeing you is the reason I do what I do. As I end my third year at Morris School, I got to see you guys go from a group of grade 10s to the leaders of the school. And it's my pleasure and privilege to be part of that experience, and I thank you for letting me do that. I hope your ability to come to school this year was as positive for you, albeit 2 meters away, wear that mask, and doing mainly academia. But if I can see, you don't mind doing academia. Nonetheless, hopefully it was positive for you. Number 3, you accomplished this goal. The reason you're here today is to complete the process, put a stamp on your 13-year public education career. For some, it'll be the last experience in a school forever. For others, this is just one phase completed as you head to the next phase. But I don't want you to worry today about your future. I want you to focus on today and take the time to cherish this moment. And I would recommend cherishing it for more than the 10-minute slot that you have here. Celebrate it with your family members, and at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, 10 other people in your backyard, or 24 whole people at a park-like setting. You've earned that celebration, so whatever it looks like, following health protocols, you've earned it. As you head to figure out what the rest of your life looks like, and I think I can read a plan here in a second, I wish you the best. You're always welcome here, and I hope that you take advantage of my invitation to come back and let us know how you're doing. And I also hope that you choose, at least in part of your life, to be of service to others, because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best feelings in the world. So, Madison, congratulations for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. So as she holds this up and Mrs. DeKazel takes a photo, Madison Ann Eugenie Cote. Madison is graduating with honors. You'll be remembered as a friendly, good-natured student who worked especially hard this year to achieve your best academically. We thank you for your contribution as a student leader this year as the treasurer of our student leadership team. Madison is planning to enter the University of Manitoba this fall and study ecology and environmental biology. Madison, you are being awarded the following: the Biology 40S Award, sponsored by the Morris Super Thrifty, with a mark of 97.4. The ELA Comprehensive Focus 40S Award, sponsored by McPhail Travel, with a mark of, measly 98%. The Credit Union $500 scholarship. The MLA Bursary for Excellence. The University of Manitoba Queen Elizabeth II Scholarship for $3,000, and of course, what you already have, your Manitoba High School Diploma. Congratulations, Madison, way to go. When this is all finished, Madison gets kicked out. You guys can turn right, and there's a photo booth set up at the front. Take some photos and enjoy. And I'll shake your hand up front. Okay? Yeah, it's all yours. Now get out of here. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much for coming. Appreciate it.
Miguel, I hope this is motivation for you. There you go. How you doing?
You don't have to wear the dress though. Trying to get the gown
in the mirror. Good job, Natasha. All right, good afternoon, Natasha. How are you? Good. Good? Natasha's family, good afternoon. It's my honor to welcome you to your own personal Class of 2021 convocation. I'm thinking if you flash back to your grade 9 year, you were here in grade 9, right? Yeah. The first year of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened over the last 4 years, especially the last 16 months. It would take me the whole time that I have, and I don't have a lot of time, to detail all those changes, so we'll just leave it there. The stories that you hear about graduation from other people and what it's like doesn't look really like this. And if the class of 2020 thinks they were so special because they had to do 3 months of this, well, you told them to sit down and hold my root beer, right? But one thing hasn't changed, and that's your right to be here at your own high school graduation convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop turned Enchanted Forest, shout out to the decorating committee, instead of the multiplex. You're only allowed to bring the members of your family rather than thousands of fans that you would have had at the multiplex cheering you on, packing the house. Instead, they got to watch live stream with Mr. Lopez. Thanks, Mr. Lopez. And you'll be out of here in less time than it'll take to replay all the goals that the Montreal Canadiens scored during the NHL playoffs. So whereas before it was convocations usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I'm thinking your brother and sister are probably happy about this part, yes. So, back to my point, sorry I got off track. The reason you're here has not changed. You've worked to earn your rightful place at this convocation. You've breezed through some classes, I'm thinking the ones you liked, and you've worked really hard at others. You've laughed out loud with or at a teacher or a classmate, and you've been frustrated by something or someone school-related. It's all part of the process, and it's the memories that you'll have, both good and bad. However, you've earned that right to have those. Let's just say the senior year is not the year you dreamt of. What did the dream include? Well, maybe you got to join a sports team or two, or be part of a club, or maybe you even got to go off campus to go to Tim's or downtown without getting caught and feeling like you were a prisoner. Or maybe you got to go on a field trip to enter another building that wasn't this building, instead of looking at it on a screen. Anyway, a typical regular run-of-the-mill sort of year is gone. You didn't get it. And for that, I feel for you and for your class. But let's not dwell on the negative because that's not what we're here for. Positives, and I got 3 of them. There's more than that, but 3 of them. Number 1, you're a part of history. Only the 1953-1954 graduating class who suffered through the polio epidemic can be compared to what you went through this year. That's it. Positive number 2. Most of your school year, every other day at least, was spent with classmates, people that you enjoy, some you don't, but people that you enjoy. You got to see each other. And if I can speak personally, you and your class saved me more than once as I struggled with the health protocols and I struggled with the rule changes and the canceled events, etc. But I considered every day that you guys were here a blessing to me. Why? Because I got to see you. And why? Because I like what I do, and that's the reason why I do it, is because I get to see you guys. So as I end my 3rd year here at the school, I got to see you go from a group of grade 10s, goofy grade 10s, to leaders in the school. It's my privilege and pleasure to be part of that experience, and I thank you for letting me be part of that. I hope coming to school was a positive for you as well. So except for the 2 meters, get that mask on, and doing mainly school and not too much else. Hopefully positive nonetheless. And then the most important thing here, Natasha, is you accomplished a goal. So the 3rd positive is that goal has been accomplished. The reason you're here today is to complete the process. Put a stamp on a 13-year academic career. For some, it'll be the last experience they ever have stepping in a school. For others, it's just one phase completed and headed on to the next phase. But I don't care about tomorrow, and I don't care about thinking about the future. I care about you cherishing the moment today and it going beyond the 10 minutes that we have together. Celebrate it with your family members, and at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, 10 more people in your backyard, or 24 in a park. That's exciting. But you've earned it. So celebrate it, follow those health protocols. So as you head out to the rest of your life, I wish you the best, and I hope that you know you're always welcome here, and I hope that you come to visit. I hope also that part of your life, and I think it is when I read your bio that's going to come up here in a second, will be of service to others, because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best feelings in the world. So congratulations, Natasha, for being part of the class of 2021. Go ahead and pick up that diploma that's right in front of your picture frame. Way to go. So Natasha Marissa Claeys. Congratulations, Natasha, on your graduation from Morris School. You'll be remembered as a friendly and love-to-talk type of person who loves people and especially children. We wish you the very best next year as you look for employment opportunities working with young people. Natasha is receiving her Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Natasha. Way to go. And make sure you shake my hand up there. Blue. Be sure to shake my hand up front. Yeah, shake my hand. Okay? Okay, now get out of here.
Good job, Natasha. Congratulations. You look great. Have a good summer, Miguel.
Thanks, guys. Tell me there's a Rangers jersey under there. strike a pose. Gotta like it.
That's Eaton's catalog.
I've only been here since 1 o'clock, so I don't know. And you're the first person to strike a pose and not just stand. That's awesome, Darrius. That's awesome.
You got to do the one pocket.
Not multiple poses, though. We don't have enough time. Okay? Yes. Good afternoon, Darrius. Darrius's family, welcome. And welcome to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If we were to flash back to your grade 9 year, the first year of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened over your 4 years, but especially the last 16 months. And it would take me my entire allotted time to discuss all those things that have changed and been impacted, but I'm thinking that you've heard stories about what grad would usually look like. This probably isn't it. But we also want to make sure that the class of 2020 doesn't brag about them having a special year, because you took a look at that and said, sit down and hold my root beer. But one thing hasn't changed, Darrius, and that's your right to attend this convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop turned enchanted forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for that. And you're only allowed to bring certain members of your family instead of the thousands of fans that would have packed to support you in the multiplex. Now they just got to watch it on the live stream with Mr. Lopez. Thanks, Mr. Lopez. And you'll be here less in minutes than it would be to take to replay all of the Montreal Canadiens goals in the NHL playoffs. Because a typical, this will take 10 minutes and the goals are way more than that. So, a typical grad is usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. I bet you might even be happy about the fact that this is only 10 minutes. By the way, Mr. Cox and Mr. Lopez are kind of sad that the NHL playoffs will be over after school's over, because they were looking forward to running through the halls, singing and dancing. But they won't be able to do that. But I digress. I digress. The reason you're here has not changed. You've earned the rightful place at this convocation. You've breezed through some classes, and you've worked really hard at others. You've laughed out loud at or with your teachers and classmates. You've been frustrated by something or someone school-related, but that's all part of the process, the memories that you'll have. They'll be good and they'll be bad. It's part of it, and you've earned that right to have those. Let's just say that this senior year hasn't been what you've dreamt of. What does a dream involve? Well, maybe being on a sports team or two, or joining a club, like we talked about wrestling, being part of that. Or maybe actually being able to leave the school grounds and going to Tim's without getting caught feeling like you're a prisoner. Or a jailbreak artist, yes. And maybe going on a field trip where you could actually walk into that building rather than watch it on a screen. But your typical run-of-the-mill year didn't happen this year, and therefore your dream didn't happen this year in some cases. But and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But let's not wallow in our sorrows. Let's put some positives. Number one, you made history. Positive number one. Outside of the 1953-1954 pandemic, you and your class made history. You suffered through a pandemic that is only paralleled. Obviously, polio was a little bit more drastic, but still very similar. So you're a special group of people in history. Positive number two, we got to spend every other day together, whereas at the end of last year, we didn't. And if I can speak personally for a minute, your presence and your presence of your classmates helped me more than once, because I struggled just like you did through health protocols, rule changes, what's open, what's not, canceled events, etc. But I considered every day with you guys a blessing. Why? Because I see you, and I got to see you. And that's the reason I do what I do, is because I got to see you. So as I end my third year and I got to see you go from a young man who quickly got frustrated every once in a while and let everybody know that, to somebody who probably still get frustrated but was able to sort of find ways to handle it. I really appreciate my experience with you, so thank you for allowing me to be part of it. Now, I hope you enjoyed being here too, albeit sitting 2 meters away, get that mask on, etc., etc. Positive number three, Darrius, you accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is you're going to complete a process. Put a stamp on a 13-year education career. For some, it's the last experience. But for others, which would include you, at least according to your plan, one phase is completed and you move on to the next. But I don't want to talk about the future right now. I want you to go beyond these 10 minutes and cherish this moment. Don't just stop celebrating once you exit the shop. I want you to celebrate it. And at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, 10 more people can be in your backyard. Or 24 others could be in a park-like setting to celebrate your graduation. So however you choose, follow health protocols to do it, celebrate it. And as you head out to figure out what the rest of your life looks like, I wish you the best, and I hope that you accept the invitation to always visit and come back. You're more than welcome. And I would hope that you would take a part of your life, no matter what you do, and serve others. And I know you have a sort of a place in your heart for animals, etc. So that's another way to serve others, and because it's one of the best feelings in the world to help. So congratulations, Darrius, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. Now, I don't want to butcher your middle name. Say it for me. Seo? Okay, perfect. Seo? Seho. Okay, fair enough. Darrius Seho Joof. Congratulations, Darrius, on your graduation from Morris School. You have worked hard to accomplish your goals. Your determination and effort is impressive, and you have finished well. We are so proud of you. Now, as you begin your training at the Graydon Veterinary Medicine to prepare for your Vet Tech program at Red River College, we wish you much success. Darrius, you are receiving the Partners in Education Scholarship, a joint scholarship sponsored by the Red River Community College and the Red River Valley School Division, totaling $1,500. And of course, grab that in front of the frame. Don't take the frame. You're receiving your high school diploma. Congratulations, Darrius. In between the sign and the bench. There you go. Nice. We didn't tell you that. I didn't tell you part of the scholarship is that the principal gets 10%. Okay, of every scholarship amount. So listen. It's part of the commission structure that I negotiated. Yes. All right. Now get out of here. You guys can head to the front of the school. There's lots of things set up to do a photo booth and do different things, so you're all good to go. Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. Good job, Darrius. Good job. Go Habs, go. Yeah. She had 4 minutes. 4 minutes. We got to talk about it though, because they had a red carpet. We should have thought about a red carpet. That's like. I know the green one's awesome. I like the forest. There's no red carpet in the forest. I just mean maybe into the. Anyway, we'll talk about it. No, hopefully next. No, we don't want to. Well, we could still have a red carpet, but we don't want this again. Yeah. Exactly. All right, Hunter. It's my turn. I'm sorry. You're going to have to listen to me for a bit. Good afternoon, Hunter's family. Welcome. It is my honor to welcome you to your own personal class of 2021 convocation. If we were to flash back to your grade 9 year, I wasn't here, so you have to flash back. The first year of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened and changed over the 4 years, especially the last 16 months. It would take my entire time that I have to talk about all the things that have happened, so I'll spare you the details. But the stories of a senior year that you've heard from your parents or older siblings or relatives didn't match up to what this year looked like. And if the class of 2020 thinks they're so special because they had 3 months of this, while you said, sit down and hold my root beer. So, one thing though, of all these changes hasn't changed, and that's your right to attend your high school convocation. Now, it might be in the auto body shop, turned enchanted forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for that transformation instead of the multiplex. You're only allowed to bring members of your household instead of the thousands of fans that would have shown up for you, but now they get to see it on the live stream, thanks to Mr. Lopez. And you'll be out of here in less time than it'll take to watch all the goals scored by Mr. Lopez and Mr. Cox's Montreal Canadiens during the playoff run. Whereas a typical convocation is usually an hour and a half to 2 hours, so I bet you someone at the back is probably pretty happy that it's only 10 minutes. Sorry, back to my point. The reason you're here has not changed. You've worked to earn your rightful place at the Moore School Convocation. You've breezed through some classes, I'm thinking the ones you really enjoy, the ones you needed to hop on a bus to go see, and you've worked really hard at others. You've laughed out loud, either with or at a teacher or a classmate, and you've probably been frustrated by something or someone school-related. It's all part of the process and the memories that you've made, both good and bad. However, you've earned this right to be mad and happy and sad and have those memories. Let's just say your senior year wasn't something you dreamt of. What did the dream involve? Maybe a sports team or two. Maybe you actually got to leave the school to go on a Tim Hortons run. Maybe you went on a field trip to some other location so you could enter a building other than this school. Your typical run-of-the-mill year that most people experience, that I experienced when I was in high school, wasn't meant to be for you. And for that, I feel for you and your classmates. But let's not wallow. Let's be positive. Positive number one, with that, you made history. You'll join the class of 1953-54 during the polio epidemic to have a very special place in history. You went through a pandemic in your final year and graduated in that final year. Very few classes can say that. Positive number two, we spent most of the school year together, every other day, but still together, and it was a great feeling. If I could speak personally for a second, your presence and your classmates' presence in our school saved me more than once, because I struggled with the health protocols, with the rule changes, with the canceled event, with ripping things away from people. I considered every day at school with you and your classmates a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you. And seeing you is the reason I do what I do. As I end my third year at Morris, I got to see you go from a group of goofy grade 10s to the leaders of the school. It's my pleasure and privilege to be part of that, and I thank you for letting me do that. I hope your ability to come to school this year was a positive for you as well, albeit 2 meters away, wear a mask, and except for the first semester, academia. Positive number three, you accomplished a goal. The reason you're here today is to complete a process. Put a stamp on 13 years of education. For some, it'll be their last time they step in a class. For others, it won't be. But I don't want to worry about the future, and I don't want you to think about it, because today is a moment to cherish. And I want you to cherish that moment for more than 10 minutes. I want you to think about maybe, especially after 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, having 10 people in your backyard or 24 other people at a public park. However you want to celebrate it, cherish it and celebrate it for a bit. As you head out to figure out what the rest of your life looks like, I wish you the best. You're always welcome here, and I hope that you accept the invitation to come back and visit. I hope, too, that part of your process of figuring out what you want to do to your life includes serving others. And I know by your experience here and helping, you already know that. So because I know it's the best feeling in the world to give a hand. So congratulations, Hunter, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. All right, you can pick up that diploma while Mrs. DeKazel is taking a picture. Yeah, and then flip it around so that it's just a diploma showing. Very good. Hunter Lane Edel. Hunter is graduating, surprise, surprise, with honors. Hunter, you will be remembered. What happened? No, that was sarcastic. I mean, I'm not surprised. Oh my goodness, I shouldn't have said that. Because you didn't take it the way I meant it. Okay, I apologize. Fair enough. Hunter, you will be remembered for your determined and steadfast attitude, especially in your favorite sports of soccer, basketball, and volleyball. Your assistance with younger athletes was always appreciated. We thank you for the work you put into decorating for grad. Everything looks awesome. We wish you every success with your plans to become a carpenter apprentice as you work towards your journeyman certificate. My nephew is a carpenter, Red Seal. Good life. Hunter, you are receiving the following. The Art Award, Art 40S Award, sponsored by Big Way Food, with a mark of a measly 96%. The Morris Technical Training $500 scholarship, sponsored by the town of Morris. The Red River Valley Technical Vocational Area Certificate for completing Level 1 and Level 2 carpentry, and your Manitoba High School Vocational Diploma, as well as your Manitoba High School Academic Diploma. Congratulations, Hunter. Way to go. And you guys already know this, but you head over to the right and go ahead and make sure you shake my hand. Okay? I don't know if you've seen it, but shake my hand. Ivy, you can't shake my hand. You can. But just around the corner, I'll be there. Trust me. Yeah, nice job, Hunter. Thank you, guys. Great to see you. Yeah, that was meant to be completely it's not a surprise, but it is a surprise. Yeah. So anyway, I'll stop. What happened to you?
I don't know, yeah, I think it's like, I went from like sitting in front of my computer doing online teaching to walking this week, and I hurt myself at work, I don't know.
All right. Good afternoon, Reanna. Welcome. Friends and family, it's my honor to welcome you to your own personal Class of 2021 convocation. If you were to flash back to your grade 9 year, first year of high school, but was it the first year here?
I was your grade 8.
Grade 8, fair enough. Good. So, yeah, first year of high school here. I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened over the past 4 years, especially the last 16 months. It'd take me way too long, and we don't have the time to detail all those changes. But you've probably heard stories from friends and family and etc. about what a typical convocation looks like. Well, this has parts of it, but it doesn't look a lot like it. And if the class of 2020, like the grade 12s from last year, think that they're so special because they had a pandemic in their last 3 months, well, you said, sit down and hold my root beer. So, but one thing that hasn't changed amidst all these changes is your right to be here. Now, it might be in the auto body shop turned Enchanted Forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for this transformation. Instead of being over at the multiplex, you're only allowed to bring certain members, negotiated members, about who could show up and who couldn't. And all your thousands of fans are now watching on the live stream because they couldn't be at the multiplex. Thanks, Mr. Lopez, for that. You'll be out of here in less time than it'll take to replay all the goals the Montreal Canadiens have scored in the NHL playoffs this spring. Because usually a typical convocation is about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So Dresden, I think, is happy it's 10 minutes. So, back to my point here, so I don't want to lose track. The reason you're here has not changed. You've worked to earn your rightful place at the Morris School convocation. You've breezed through some classes, probably the ones you liked, and you've worked hard at most others. You've laughed out loud, either at or with a teacher or classmate. You've been frustrated by something or someone school-related. It's all part of the process of making memories, both good and bad. However, you've earned the right to make those memories. Let's just say you haven't had the senior year you've dreamt of. What did the dream involve? Well, maybe being in a club or being part of a sport or two, maybe actually leaving the school grounds so that without feeling like you were doing a prison break, to go to Tim's or downtown to Subway, maybe to go on a field trip where you actually entered another building than this. So the typical regular grade 12 year didn't happen, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But I don't want to dwell on the negative because that's not what today's for. I've got 3 positives. There's way more than that. Positive number 1, you and your class made history. You'll join the class of 2021 around the world who can say that you lived through and went to school in your final year and graduated through a full year of a pandemic. Nobody really else can say that except the people of 1953-54 who went through polio. So you have your place in history. Number 2, you've spent time with your classmates, whereas you didn't at the end of last year. Now, it was only every other day, and there were a bunch of rules and et cetera, but you got to spend time with them. If I were to speak personally for a second, your presence and the presence of your classmates saved me more than once, as we and I struggled with health protocols and rule changes and all the canceled things. I considered every day at school with you guys a blessing. Why? Because I got to see you. Seeing you is the reason I do what I do. As I end my 3rd year here at Morris School, I got to see you go from a group of goofy grade 10s to a group of goofy grade 12s. No, I'm just kidding. The leaders of the school. It's my pleasure and privilege to be part of your experience, and I thank you for letting me do that. I hope in some way it was positive for you this year as well with being here at the school. Number 3, positive, and this is the final one. You're accomplishing a goal today. The reason you're here is to complete a process, to put a stamp on 13 years of education. For some people, it'll be their last experience in a school ever, and for others, it's just another phase. But I don't really want you to focus on the future today, because today is about cherishing not just these 10 minutes, but to cherish your graduation. And after 12:01 on Saturday, you can enjoy it with 10 other people in your backyard. Or you could go to a public space and enjoy it with 24 other people because you're 25. So 24 other people. So I would encourage you to do so. Find a way to celebrate it because you deserve it. As you head out to figure the rest of your life, Reanna, I wish you the best, and I want you to know you're always welcome here, and I hope that you take us up on the invitation to visit. I hope also that part of your life you choose to serve others, because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best feelings in the world doing so. So, congratulations, Reanna, for being part of the class of 2021. Way to go. Reanna Haley Stack, pick up that diploma that's just in front of the frame. There you go, and flip it backwards so that just the diploma is showing. There you go, and Mrs. DeCaza will take some photos. Congratulations, Reanna, on your graduation from Morris School. Reanna, you'll be remembered for your definitely outgoing personality, your determination to have your opinion heard, and every once in a while, if not always, winning an argument that's helped you grow in strength and your resilience. Your hard work always shone through at the things you love doing. We wish you the very best as you take the next year to work and save money toward post-secondary education and training in the field of social work, serving others. Way to go. Reanna is receiving her Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Reanna. Way to go. You guys are welcome to, once you're done here, turn right, and then there's a photo booth set up, and shake my hand when you get around. I'll be there. Thank you guys.
Way to go, short stack. Way to go.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit for sure. So good afternoon, Alexis. Mom and Dad, good afternoon. Thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. It's my honor to welcome you to your personal class of 2021 convocation. Personal. Now, if I were to flash back to your grade 9 year and get you to do that, sort of the first year of your high school career, I'm pretty sure you couldn't have predicted this. A lot has happened over the 4 years, but I've only been given about 4 minutes, so I'm not going to detail what has happened. But those last 16 months have been a doozy. The stories that you've probably heard from others about what grade 12 is like and what convocation is like, it's not making sense right now, I'm thinking. And if the class of 2020, the grade 12s from last year, think they had it bad, you told them to sit down and hold my root beer, for sure. But, Alexis, one thing hasn't changed, and that's your right to be here. Now, it might be an auto body shop turned enchanted forest. Shout out to the decorating committee for that work. Instead of going to the multiplex, you're only allowed members of your household rather than extended family members, but they can tune in to Mr. Lopez's live stream, thanks to Mr. Lopez. And you'll be out of here in less time than it took to replay all the goals the Montreal Canadiens have scored this spring. Mr. Cox and Mr. Lopez like that every time I say it. Whereas a typical convocation is probably an hour and a half to 2 hours, so I'm thinking Dad's probably enjoying that it's going to be 10 minutes. Now, sorry about that, back to my point. The reason you're here has not changed. You've worked to earn your rightful place at Morris School Convocation. You've breezed through some classes, probably the ones you enjoy, and you've worked really hard on the others. You've laughed out loud, either with or at a teacher or a classmate, and you've been frustrated by something or someone, probably school-related. It's all part of that process of creating memories, both good and bad. However, you've earned the right to have those memories. Let's just say that your last year at school is probably not one you've dreamt of. What's your dream involve? I don't know. Maybe joining a club or two, maybe being able to actually leave the school grounds to go to Tim's if you forgot your lunch, maybe going on a field trip into another building other than this place. So the typical run-of-the-mill that we're used to of a school year, wasn't yours this year, and for that I feel for you and your classmates. But let's not wallow. Let's not wallow in the negative. There's 3 positives that I want to highlight, but there's way more. Number 1, you guys made history. Outside of the 1953-54 class that went through the polio epidemic, your class is pretty special. I don't think anything in history would look like this, so you have your place in history. Positive number 2, the school year we spent at least every other day together. And if I could speak personally for a moment, your presence and the presence of your classmates saved me more than once. Because I too struggled with the health protocols, the rule changes, taking events and things away from you. I considered every day, though, with you guys a blessing for me. Why? Because I got to see you. Seeing you is the reason I do what I do. And as I end my 3rd year at Morris School, I got to see you go from a group of grade 10s to leaders in the school. It's my pleasure and privilege to be part of your experience, and I thank you for letting me do that. I hope your ability to come to school this year was also a positive for you, although 2 meters away, put your mask on, and doing mainly academia, and so a little bit of work for Mrs. DeKazel in the library. Positive number 3, you accomplished a goal, Alexis. The reason you're here today is to complete that process, to put a stamp on the 13 years of education. For some, it'll be the last time they step in a school. For others, it's the next phase of their life. Where will you go tomorrow? I don't want to talk about that. I want you to think about today and cherishing this moment. Cherishing this moment that's going to go beyond these 10-minute time slots. I want you to celebrate it with your family members, and at 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, 10 people in your backyard, or 24 people in a park. Well, you're 25, but 24 others in a park. You've earned it. Just follow health and safety protocols, but you've earned it. Celebrate. So as you figure out what the rest of your life looks like, I wish you all the best. You are always welcome here, and I hope you take us up on that invitation to visit. I hope part of your life, however, you choose to serve others, because I can tell you from personal experience, it's one of the best feelings in the world. So, finally, congratulations, Alexis. You are now part of a graduating class of 2021. Congratulations. There you go. Now pick up your diploma, hold it so only you don't need the frame. There you go, good, yeah. Hold it backwards so you only see the diploma, and Mrs. DeCays will take a couple shots there. Nice work. Oh, and you picked up both, you're smart. No, that's good, that's what you want. Alexis Emily Hurd. Congratulations, Alexis, on your high school graduation. This year has been challenging, and you've worked hard to finish. We all are proud of you. Thank you for your countless hours of help in our library. Your thoughtfulness is always appreciated and will be remembered, especially by Mrs. DeCays. We wish you success as you take this year to pursue your interests and possibly enroll in a librarian program. Alexis is receiving her Manitoba High School diploma. Congratulations, Alexis. Way to go. You look great, by the way. Nice work. So you guys can go drive around to the front. There's a photo booth there. You can take as many photos as you like. Okay? Thank you. Way to go, Alexis. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate you coming.